Hey kids, and welcome to the show. Today, I want to talk to you guys about something that's coming up, and people are thinking it's a great investment, but it is not. And let me tell you why. Debt is never a good investment. So, I'm about to tell you guys about something that is being proposed by the Biden administration that is going to create a whole bunch of wealth for a whole bunch of people that are probably not you, and how you can take advantage of that. Okay, this isn't financial advice in the sense that I know what I'm talking about. This is just some of my observations, and I wanted to share them with you. So, if you're interested in knowing what I'm thinking about in the home buying market, I'm going to get right back to you right after this. Okay, here's what we're experiencing. Okay, right now there's a record number of home buyers. There is so much going on right now that in a lot of locations, people are getting over their asking price. So, easy numbers. I'm asking $100,000 for my house. People are getting offered $150,000 sight unseen, which means it may be a really bad time to buy property. Now, if you're living in one of those places that have a mass exodus, this probably doesn't apply to you. I'm talking about a place where all of a sudden people are coming. So if people are coming to your neighborhood or your state or wherever it is that you live, and they're buying up the homes, that is going to create a bubble. It's going to create a housing market that's going to be able to be taxed more. So people, so we had to tax your property tax more because the value is going to go up, and it's not going to go up because of anything other than the demand. So there's more construction. You guys see how expensive lumber is right now. It's because people are buying and buying and building and building. Okay, so President Biden has, in one of his plans, I think it's called the Homeowners Rescue Plan in the stimulus, it's offering $15,000 to first-time homeowners. Now, I haven't read everything in the plan, but there's a reason that is significant. And Bank of America is also offering another $17,000, from what I understand, and we're talking $27,000 to put towards your home for first-time home buyers, and I think some other people will qualify. These are low income stimulus. It's for people of low income. Let me tell you why this is scary. Now, the reason I think this is scary is because I am someone who has actually been on the wrong side of payday loans, of mortgages. I've had some issues, and I've had some emergencies. So this is why I think it's scary. We're targeting people in a low economic group. So people that can't afford things. And you're giving them enough money to put a down payment on a $270,000 house. All right, someone that is in the low income bracket and is buying a $170,000 house. Now I'm talking Oklahoma. I'm not talking places where that's crazy. You can get a house in Oklahoma City still for around 100 grand. So they're going to give you the ability or the down payment for a house that's up to $270,000. You don't have to be a math expert to know that if you make $60,000 a year, the payment on a $270,000 house is just going to be completely unattainable. It's going to be unsustainable. So almost immediately after some people buy their dream home, they're going to start foreclosure because in the first few months, they're not going to be able to afford the house payment. So, and if they do, they're going to have to make changes other places. Now, this doesn't account for people that have money in their savings. So, there's some really good ideas and reasons to do your mortgage. So here's what I think you should do. All right, again, not a financial expert. Didn't go to school. I've played one on TV. No, I'm just kidding. So here's what you do. If you think you're ready for a mortgage, you take the money that you think you're going to spend. So let's say you finance a $100,000 house in the outskirts of Oklahoma City. That's going to get you a pretty small house, 2 bedrooms, something somewhere. Okay. So if you do $100,000 and you put $10,000 down, you're going to owe $90,000 on the house. Okay. So what happens when someone gets a $270,000 home and they have a $1,500 mortgage on that home, or a $2,000 mortgage? I don't know what the interest rate's going to be or anything like that. They're just not going to be able to afford it. Now, when I was in the Army, I had a truck repossessed. I was paying $425 a month for that truck, okay? This was over 20 years ago. I was only making like $600 a month, and my insurance on that truck was almost $400 because I was a young, stupid kid with a brand new truck. Needless to say, when the bank called and said, "You're not making your payments, we're going to take your truck away," I said, "Where do I bring it and where do I drop it off?" And that was the first time I realized that free money is not free. So if they're releasing this money and they want you to get a $270,000 house, you just can't afford that if you're in a low income bracket. Let's say you make $50,000. Well, I'm basically a medically retired vet. I don't make very much money. I'm on fixed income. There's no way I can afford that. Teachers can't afford that, a $270,000 house. So is it really helping if you're gonna just put people in debt? Okay, now our government, they go in debt all the time. So now they're basically forcing debt onto people that can't afford it. And by forcing, I know nobody's gonna force you to go sign a document, but it is a scary time. And you're like, oh, I can get this really cool house. And then, so what do I think you should do? This is what I think you should do. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, I'm right. This is, like I told a friend earlier who's looking at buying a house, this is friendly advice from Uncle Willy, okay? Uncle Willy thinks this. If you think you're ready to buy a house, okay? Oh, before I say this, let me tell you, my definition of wisdom is you did some stupid stuff that should have or could have killed you and you survived. That's what wisdom is, okay? I've done some stupid stuff in my life. I did not do it this way. I'm doing it different now. So that's why this is so important. If you think you're ready to buy a house, this is what you do. Find your dream house. You get your house and don't buy it. Start making payments on it. Find out what the worst interest rate you could get. Seriously, find out what the worst interest rate is that you qualify for and make yourself an account and pay yourself. Be the bank. Pay yourself for a year, okay? In a year, if you've never had to take money out of that account, that means you can afford the mortgage payment. Here's the caveat. Take 80% out and use that as a down payment on your house, along with anything else that you could have saved, because you're still having to put savings away, right? So you have another savings account. There you go. And then you can kind of put about $5,000 over. And $5,000, here's the number. Here's why I think $5,000 is it. Your mortgage insurance deductible. Oh yeah, you have to get mortgage insurance. That's not included in that payment. Anyway, your deductible could be anywhere from $100 to $5,000. So put yourself in a position where you have about $5,000 in an account for your house. So your house has its own savings account. I did this with my business. My business had its own savings account, its own emergency fund. So that way, when the business was hurting, my family was still getting fed because the business had its own emergency fund. So give this house, this pretend house, an emergency fund, or actually it's going to be a house because you've put the down payment on it, right? So you have $5,000 in an emergency fund on the house. Now, every month, continue to add your budget to that. So you're budgeting for a roof, right? Go ahead and put that budget into that savings account. Now, when anything ever happens, you have the money to pay for it. And you don't have to freak out, use credit cards, and have to pay somebody else to fix something that you can't afford to pay, and then you end up having to pay more. So you have the money to pay cash, all right? $5,000. Let's say a tornado comes through, whoosh, knocks your house down. That's why you have mortgage insurance. Your deductible's $2,000. Oh no, my deductible's $2,000. What am I gonna do? I need a new house. Guess what? You have $5,000. Pay your deductible $3,000. Start your emergency fund for your house again, and then guess what? They build your house, and you're good. The point I'm making is there's so many things in home ownership that just come up. So treat your home like a different person. It needs to have its own emergency fund. And if you don't know how to, or are not willing to learn how to unplug a drain, you're gonna be in a bad way. If you are a homeowner, You have to learn some skills. So in that year, read a couple books on plumbing, read a couple books on electricity. Not anything that's going to hurt you. Look at some stuff, learn some stuff. That way, oh, I can unclog that toilet with a plunger instead of calling somebody to come and undo your toilet with a plunger and charge you $120. You can do that. But you'll also be able to recognize when it's something you can't do and say, you know what? I need a professional. Hey, I have the money to hire the professional to do it right. So that is why I think you got to really think about going into a mortgage right now, because they're going to start dangling all this free money in front of you. Don't be caught up with the free money. Now, if you're going to take advantage of the free money, let's do that. Take advantage of the free money if you have been saving up for a mortgage and you can pay 80%. If you take that free money, like on a $100,000 home, and you have, let's say you have $40,000 saved up. If they'll give you $27,000, put that together, and you have yourself a really good deal. Shorter mortgages, lower interest rates, better to have no mortgage. I'm saying that because I am building our house nail by nail, no mortgage. I'm going to sit on that porch. Might take a year, might take 2 years, might take 10 years, but I'm going to sit on that porch with no debt on that house. Still fighting through some stuff from when I was sick, but I'm not getting any new debt. So work hard, be kind to people, have fun. Be aware that if the government is going to give you free money, it's not free. Someone's paying for it. And when all those houses get foreclosed on, you know who's going to get the money and who's going to get the bailouts? The banks that gave you mortgages that you should not have gotten to begin with. Kind of sounds like something that happened about 15 years ago. Yeah, do your homework. And so, work hard, be kind, have fun.